My dear friends, especially the youth of India, today I am going to talk about the nuclear submarine capabilities of India. Let me say it on the onset, let me say that I am not going to talk about any strategic policy or any strategic plan of Navy or anything, the tactical or strategic plan or anything which is confidential or secret. I am going to talk about only that whatever the information has been made available by Indian Navy or the government of India and which is there available in social media, that only I am going to talk about, but I'll brief you about everything. This particular task I have taken today to talk about the nuclear submarine capabilities because I have seen whenever I go to a school or go to an college, engineering college, and then even to the universities and then to the corporate and wherever I am delivering my talk, everyone asks that you had been in Navy and everyone has got, the fascination, liking towards Indian Navy. They want to ask that what are the naval capabilities and the ultimate nuclear submarine capabilities. So, my dear friends, I am going to divide my lecture. The first of all, I am going to talk about that what types of submarines are there, so that you have an understanding that how many navies are operating submarines and what type of all submarines are there. Then I'll talk about what is the submarine fleet of India. And after that, once I talk about that, then I'll come to the nuclear submarine and then what kind of a nuclear submarines are there and what India is having and what is going to be there and how India is developing its nuclear submarine capabilities and how it is, of strategic importance and, to become a true blue water navy. So we are, Indian Navy is a blue water navy, and it has now the even the submarine has sailed in the ocean, and that is very far from India, and that has got the capabilities which is, the entire world has witnessed. So let's come to that what kind of submarines are there. The first of all is a conventional submarine, that is sort of an, you can say, SSK or that submarine, that conventional submarine, any navy which is operating, especially in India, that is the conventional submarine means it has got the conventional propulsion, that is, it has got the batteries on board, and these batteries are stored in a compartment vertically, and then because the submarine is also divided, that vertically and horizontally, and these batteries are, kept in a sort of an horizontal compartment. Normally a submarine is divided into 3 to 4 horizontal compartments and then in vertical silos also, and these batteries provide the electrical propulsion to the motors, and then motors are running. And these submarines has got only one limitation, that for charging of the batteries you need to come up on surface. I'll not say it is on surface, but you have to come to an a snorkeling depth. Snorkeling depth is that there is a periscope, and along with that periscope there is a provision that when the submarine is underwater only, and this snorkeling device or the periscope, along with periscope, it comes and it remains 3 to 4 feet above the water surface, and it provides the necessary oxygen to a submarine. So a conventional submarine normally operates for near about 4 to 5 days without charging the batteries, but after that it comes to the surface, and once it comes to the surface, I mean to say, it remains submerged, but then periscope is upwards, then it has got the possibility that it could be detected by the anti-submarine systems, devices, the submarine ships or Duncan sonars, and there are other things, the other platforms the rival navy is having. So it has got the limitation that it can go up to uh, some hundred, two to 300 to for it, depending upon the deployment in what waters it's having, and then it has to surface and charge. Now you will see that even the conventional submarines nowadays, the many navies are operating the conventional submarine. Those are fitted with the AIP, air independent propulsion. The air independent propulsion is that it does not need this charging of batteries, but it has got, H2O2 stored on that, and it is being used as a fuel for the fuel cells, and that generates the necessary electricity which is needed for the propulsion of the submarines. So that is, it has got more endurance. Like the conventional submarine was limited to 4 to 5 days, but AIP based can go up to 15 days or so, and even more depending upon how much is the tonnage of submarine and how big the submarine is and how much this fuel cell size and what sort of an operation you are having. But certainly it increases the endurance of the submarine, and when it increases the endurance of the submarines, it remains undetected under waters, and it becomes a very good platform for attack, as well as it is going for the surveillance under waters in the hunt of ships and the aircraft carriers or any other floating platform in the sea. And that is, now comes to the third one. Third one is a nuclear submarine. Nuclear submarine is having a submarine which is having a nuclear propulsion. This nuclear propulsion runs and it has got unlimited endurance. And there are some submarines that they need not to be refuel the nuclear submarine for say next 15 to 25 years, but certainly the maintenance is needed. Then it comes to the, and then the livability of the submarines, the hygienic conditions, the crew remains there underwater, but after that it has to come or the crew is replaced. So there are basically three kind of submarines. Now coming to India, India is having two types of submarine. One is conventional. The first of all, India acquired six conventional submarine. Those were Foxtrot class of submarines, and all these six had come from Russia, and they were V class: INS Vagir, INS Vela, INS Vakshir, and then INS Khanderi, Kalveri, and one more, uh, three K class and three V class Foxtrot conventional submarines, and now they have been decommissioned. And after that, India has gone for SSK submarines in collaboration from the outside, and two, three boats were acquired, and after that, their SSK are being manufactured at MDL. So they were three of them were two of them were acquired from there, and two or three they were manufactured at the shipyards, mainly the MDL Majgaon Dockyard Limited of Mumbai. So after that, the India has acquired a platform or submarine that is EKM class from Russia, and with that I can say now the India is having a submarine fleet of 14 submarines, and out of that the 14 are conventional. The 15th one is under trials, and I'm sure it is going to be going to be commissioned in Navy this year itself. And let me tell you, all the Foxtrot type of conventional submarine, those were decommissioned. Now they have been made the based on SSK type of submarines at Majgaon Dockyard Limited, and five of them has already been commissioned. As I said, The last one is the INS Wagshir, which is shortly going to be commissioned in Indian Navy. So all the six have been replaced by the indigenously manufactured submarine by Indian Navy, and the EKM fleets are getting modernized and refit, and some of them have been refitted in Russia again. But now coming to the chapter of nuclear submarine, the India was running an ATV project since 70s, as the nuclear technology is a very complex technology, especially the reactor size cannot be equal to the shore-based reactors. It has to be miniaturized, and then it has to meet the need that how much power is needed and what all safety criteria are to followed on board submarine, especially the coolant circulation pipes and then providing shielding so that the crew is not affected by the radiation. So all these precautions to perfect this technology, India took a long time, but as we are having very strong our civilian nuclear program and all our establishments like BARC and the related organization of Department of Atomic Energy, we had capabilities to develop the miniaturized nuclear reactor in India, and then we started going for nuclear submarine construction, and then finally submarine was then started taking trial, that was INS Arihant. It was the first SSBN submarine. Why it is called the SSBN? In nuclear submarine also you will find there are the three type of nuclear submarines. So I'll elaborate on that. So India had the first nuclear submarine, which was INS Arihant, and it was SSBN class. So what is the SSBN class? Before I come to it, let me just say that it had very extensive trials for 4 years, and finally it was commissioned in 2016. And then this submarine is capable to launch K-15 missiles of a longer range, which is having the sort of ballistic missiles, and K4 is a shorter range missiles which could be used against that is fitted with the conventional weapons, and the ballistic missiles are fitted with the nuclear weapon. So there is another concept that after commissioning INS Arihant, India got a capabilities which was, the triad capabilities. And I'll explain that, how this nuclear submarine was the most potent weapon of Indian Navy acquired. And this submarine, what is called SSBN? SSBN is an attack submarine which is fitted with ballistic missiles, which can carry these missiles, as I said, the ballistic missiles, those are tipped with the nuclear warheads, so that you can attack the enemy or adversary at a particular range. So it was having very long range to strike our potential enemies. With that purpose it was made. So with the commissioning of INS Arihant, India acquired a technology capabilities of nuclear submarine, and that too straightway SSBN. SSBN is a submarine which is having a nuclear propulsion. It is having nuclear propulsion to give a lot of endurance to the submarine, and then it can go under depth at a very deep, and then it is completely a stealth platform that no one can detect it, because the surface targets or the air-based targets or the land-based targets, they're exposed and you can do a preemptive planning to strike them. But a nuclear submarine which is operating under depth, and it has got capabilities to launch a ballistic missiles. So coming to the nuclear doctrine of India, India has got a policy or nuclear doctrine, that is no first use, NFU. Means we are not going to use the nuclear weapons first, but what we can do then if any adversary is having even any type of nuclear attack against us, or if we come to know about it, then definitely will strike very hard the adversaries or the enemy. And secondly, we have got assured mutual destruction. Why? Because we have got now tried, that is a nuclear tipped missile, that is the ballistic missiles, a long range missiles, which is fitted on SSB and INS Arient, the K-15 class, and that can hit thousands of kilometers. I am not disclosing range or all technical details, but that is the capability now India is having. Now after that, I am also hearing from the social media and the people, those are talking, the nuclear experts and the submarine experts of Indian Navy, they are talking on the social media platforms that very shortly INS Arighat, the another SSBN, is going to be also commissioned into Indian Navy, because it has done very extensive trials and all, and that will also be a very potent another SSBN. But let me tell you one thing now, why I am competent to speak on this particular topic, because there was a nuclear submarine which was a nuclear propelled submarine, and it had only torpedoes, the conventional ones, INS Chakra, which was taken on lease for 3 years. It came to India and joined Indian Navy in Feb 1988, and after 3 years it was handed over back to Russia after the carrying out refit. So that is the one, and the another INS Chakra, the same class or even the improved one, again was taken on lease from Russia, and it was in somewhere in 2018, and it is still operating with the Indian Navy. So that is also a nuclear submarine, but it does not have the nuclear warfare. But INS Arihant and INS Arigat is also going to have nuclear weapons, and that ballistic missiles. So they are SSBN class, and then it is heard that India is also having the third submarine, which is having the larger displacement and a very bigger size, and further the missile range has been improved drastically, and so is the nuclear weapons. Those are going to be fitted in large numbers on the submarine, and that is S4. So that is also now India has produced, and I'm sure very shortly that will also start trials, and all these trials and other things is going to commence, and it will be for the very potent, but it will also be an SSBN submarine. Now in nuclear submarine there is one is known as SSN. SSN is a very strike nuclear submarine. It is propelled by the nuclear propulsion, but it is having only conventional weapons. But what has it has got a striking capabilities for the distance, because its endurance is huge. It can remain for near about 15 to 25 years without refueling. So its endurance reaches into months, and it again touch anywhere in the waters, anywhere in the world, and it has got a very long range, and all these capabilities by India has already been established by nuclear submarine. But India is not having any SSN as of now. And another news is also there that India is also inducting a little larger displacement, the bigger nuclear submarine, that is INS Chakra 3rd. As I said, ki INS Chakra 2 was inducted, taken on lease in 2018, and I think it was handed over in 2022 or 2003. I am not sure about it. And the third INS Chakra is also going to be, but it will be only nuclear propelled. It will not be having the nuclear weapons. So Strategically, India must have at least 3 to 4 nuclear submarines and a combination of SSN, SSBN, and SSGN. I have not talked about SSGN, I will be coming to it. But SSN is a strike nuclear propelled submarines which has got a endurance for a very long distance travel under sea without any refueling, so it can hit the enemy and adversary anywhere with the conventional weapons. So it is a very proper, very potent platform. Indian government has approved the budgets for building 6 SSNs in India itself. It will be the same tonnage like equal to INS Arihant and INS Arigat, but it will be fitted with conventional weapons. But the most potent conventional weapons having in missiles on board, and then INS Arihant, INS Arigat, or these all 6 submarines, those are going to be manufactured in next 10 to 12 years if final budget is approved and sanctioned. I think it is approved, it has not been sanctioned. So I am sure at a very fast speed India is going to go for that. So the India is having that strategic posture against adversaries like if you take China and then Pakistan. So rather than considering Pakistan, I take a posture against China. So India needs minimum 3 to 4 nuclear submarines. Those are having the triad capabilities and deep striking capabilities with deep with good endurance, and that is going to be achieved by these nuclear submarine fleets. So any nation, first let me tell you, it's only the 6 countries those are having nuclear submarines. Other than India, there are the 5 permanent members of UN Security Council, like USA, China, Russia, France, and England. And India is the 6th nation which is having these capabilities. And same way the triad capabilities. And now India shortly will have, when the tonnage of submarines is increasing, say in S4, then S4 star or S4 plus, if it is going to be the next planning by India, it will certainly will have the underwater launched or submerged launched ballistic missile SLBMs, and these SLBMs will be having very long range and will be having the MRIVs, also multiple independent re-entry vehicles, so that the many, so these all are into the future, and I am talking about only the literature which is available, nothing strategically or tactically. I am talking about it. So, my dear friends, India is very capable, and India is capable against both the adversaries at present, and we are a potent force in Indian Ocean, and we have got the capabilities, sea denial to our adversaries. And India has got an advantage which is really a blessing for India, or I'll say disguise for China, that is Malacca Strait. Now, the maximum trade to China is through Malacca Strait, and we have got the capabilities, if not choking 100% that route for China, but at least the economically, anytime we can cause a huge loss. So, with that doctrine in mind and policy in mind, we are also building our strategic installations, and the full command is operating in Andaman Nicobar islands, and we have got now many airports where even the big aircrafts, striking aircrafts, the transport aircrafts, surveillance aircrafts, all these can operate over there. And tomorrow we'll be having our potent, the sea platforms also operating in these areas, and from that strategic command is there, and that is the first concept of theater command which has come up. and now India is going towards the theater command. We are going to have cyber command. We are going to have space. But my dear friends, again, I am sure that it is now clear to you what India is having the nuclear submarine capabilities, what is there in there, and I think I have not covered SSGN. SSGN is a third type of nuclear submarine. One is the SSN. That is SSN is nuclear powered, nuclear propelled submarine, but having conventional weapons, though fitted with missiles and torpedoes. And then coming to the SSBN like INS Ariant and INS Arigat, it has got the triad capabilities. And then SSGN, those are having the displacement, say more than 10 10,000 metric tons. They will be having very, very long range and the most potent cruise missiles, SLBM, submarine launched ballistic missiles. So that are called SSGNs. So I am sure now you will be confident that Indian Navy is having its posture to defend 7,500 kilometer coastline of India very competitively, and we have got a posture against our adversaries in Indian Ocean, and then you know and doing maximum damage if any retaliatory action happens against India, especially in Malacca Straits, and that's what the China was afraid of it, and China was looking for CPC, and if you know, but still the land, here it can't have its fuel through the landline routes because one oil tanker is equal to say 15, 20 or 25,000 trucks of fuel. So it cannot be possible that it's having its needs fulfilled through CPC. So it's a failure. And India is building up its strategic assets and the Indian Navy capabilities, commensurating its economic power, and is growing status the worldwide to play a most decisive role. But again, coming back to it, India is a peaceful nation. We have never done any aggression against it, but we have got a very potent seagoing posture or the Indian Navy posture against our adversaries very competently, and again to play a role which we are already playing against pirates, against attacks on our merchant ships. So we are capable to take care of the economic or the supply chain lines of India. So my dear friends, if you like this video, please press like and then subscribe to my channel Pulse Beat of India. I'll be getting back to you with these kind of topics which now people, especially the youth, are suggesting to me. And if you have got any questions and if you have got your comments, you're most welcome to get onto my YouTube channel and let me know. So till that, thank you very much.